Good evening, morning, my spirited living friends, my sister and fellow inner goddess team aficionados. This is Deborah Roth from Spirited Living, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, whatever happies and marries you are celebrating this time of year. And this is also the time of year, of course, in the Northern Hemisphere and in many cultures around the world when we are honoring and celebrating the end of a calendar year thanks to the Romans. So we have a Roman goddess that we're acknowledging today, and moving into the next year. So I feel like I've been doing a lot of Roman goddesses, and I've got another one coming up too. And I think that happens so much because the deities and the religions that last are the ones of the conquerors, and the Romans were major conquerors. And at the same time, they offer us very powerful feminine archetypes, which of course is what we talk about when we're playing with our members of our inner goddess teams, the divinely feminine energy that exists in all of us. You can tap into that. You can learn more about that. Somewhere in this video will be a link to maybe a 6 or 7 minute video that talks about the qualities of the divine feminine and why we so desperately need them in our world today. So please check that out to learn more. Take a look at my Facebook and Instagram pages because they are often relevant to what's going on. You can get that, all the links for that on my website and also in the description on YouTube. This always ends up, these inner goddess team videos always eventually find their way to YouTube, whether I've recorded them on Instagram or Facebook Live. So, Strenia or Strenua is a Roman goddess from the Sabine people, which was just a sect of fairly populous sect in ancient Roman times. And she was a goddess. She was the goddess, really, of purification, of the new year, and of well-being. And she was honored on January 1, and as I often say in these videos, whether you're watching this in January, before or after the start of the year or not, you'll see in a moment why so much of her energy and of her wisdom is really something we can embrace all year round. But on January 1 in ancient Rome, a twig from her sacred grove. Let's see, they called her sacred grove the Sacellum. Sorry, that was her shrine at the sacred grove, which was the Lucus. All these are, I'm probably massacring whatever the Latin pronunciation is for these, which were at the top of the Via Sacra, which was the sacred place where many of the gods and goddesses of Rome were honored. And a twig was taken from strenuus or Strenea's grove in a procession to the citadel, to this big place that all kinds of rites and rituals went on. And it was first acknowledged that it was honored in like 150 something BCE. So it's been around a while, and it's apparently when the consuls, when all of the men, not a whole lot of women were doing the kind of governing then, would come together to begin their new year. So it was January 1 back then, and they don't know whether it was replaced from sometime in March, when the zodiac signs start all over again, or when it was at the point that they were celebrating it with Strenua, it was or Strenia, was on January 1st. And it's also said that her name is, the root was from the word strenae, Streniai, which were the New Year's gifts that Romans exchanged with each other as good omens, to take them through and show the gods and goddesses that they were worthy in all their public activities and adulations of these gods and goddesses. They also, and apparently at some point, these strenae also took the form of money. So, oh, and this was a great one. Saint Augustine apparently said that Strenua, was the goddess who made a person strenuous or strong and vigorous. So think of the words that we know that have that as a root, S-T-R-E-N, stren, and it comes from this energy, from Strenia, of being strong and healthy and vigorous. Now, her themes for all of that, her themes were around children and protection. She was the goddess that you called on if you wanted to protect your unborn child, but also children, your own children. And while the ways that you can do that back then would be to make offerings, to burn bay leaves or fig leaves, bay, fig, what else was a palm, honey, all kinds of youthful images. Those were all ways that you could entreat, that you can invoke the goddess Strenia. And you can also, offerings were given for her, much in the ways that we would sweeten up the little ones that we love, not too much sugar, burning leaves, but leaving out sweetbreads that were mixed with dates or figs, which of course sweeten things up. So the message with Strenia, the invitation with her, is to celebrate. It could be on January 1, but again, this is one of those things that you can do any time of the year. Celebrate the children in your life. I feel like I've definitely gotten that, a good dose of that the last couple days. We were with our grandchildren, our granddaughters for 2 days this week, and of course saw them on Christmas Day. This was, I'll even show you, let's see. Those are my grand cuties. It's my husband with them. That's me with them. You can get a sense of my little sweeties. So I celebrate them all the time. I don't need Strenia to remind me that. There is a beautiful representation of her in this picture with Strenia, with her hand on a young child. So think about, take a moment. I'd love to hear. Comment in the, anywhere that you're watching this. Who are the children? Because I think naming these kinds of things out loud is particularly powerful. Who are the children that you want to acknowledge, to celebrate in your life? And let's bring them any time of year, particularly right now at the turn of the year, into your consciousess and make a real declaration of ways that you can support and protect them. So if you do have a small child, one thing that you can do is to share fig Newtons, fig cookies with that child. Teach them about the ways that tell them what you love about them, and teach them about the ways that they should grow. Whether you're a grandparent or a parent or a beloved friend, whoever it is, this is the time to really take some actual time, some quality time with the children that you love. You can make a small power pouch. This was a wonderful suggestion from, one of my favorite books that I talk about, Patricia Telesco's 365 Goddesses. Make a little power pouch with a bay leaf in it and a dried crumb of a fig, some kind of fig bread, or just any kind of sweet bread, so that your favorite child can carry a little bit of that goddess energy with him or her wherever they go. If you don't have children, would be a great time to volunteer for some sort of organization that supports children, or maybe go into an orphanage and read to kids, somewhere that you can offer up some love and protection and support for young children. So I think I've showed you all the various things I'd love to share with you, and it's so hard to believe that I haven't shared with you yet in my 2.5 years of doing these Inner Goddess Team videos. This is one of my favorite chants that I have done with children of all ages. I've actually done it when I've done mystical, magical birthday parties for young girls. And I do it in my women's circles all the time. And it goes like this. It's fun because it has hand movements to it. It goes, earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. Earth my body, water my blood, air my breath, and fire my spirit. So that's one of the oldest, most fun, playful, but always powerful goddess chants that I learned early on. So take that in, find a child that you love, honor your own inner child and embrace him or her, and allow yourselves to call in this protective, nurturing, loving energy of Strenia to support the children in your life, and at the same time to celebrate this sweet passage from the old year to the new. Thanks so much. Please do comment, let me know. I'd love to hear about the children in your life and how you celebrate them. We'll see you back here next week. Namaste.